and we are back today with some Need for Speed Rivals. Now, I wanted to correct myself, give you guys a heads up on what my last video was supposed to be. And my last video was supposed to be a raid with randoms, and I could not do it because I couldn't. There was nobody there for like 5-10 minutes. So I have to find another program that will let me essentially find random people to do a raid with. So hopefully I can find a program that does that, and I will get some raid action for you guys on Destiny 1. So and some tips and strategies that I think work very, very well. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be easy stuff right there. So but that's besides the point. Today we are on Need for Speed Rivals just because I wanted to, and I feel like this is one of my favorite old-time video games ever. Why did I have that not unlocked? Okay, hold on. I have to go on a spending spree here for a second, because I should always have those 4 right there. I always try to get level 3 or 4 helicopter. I try to get level 3 or 4 electrostatic field. Same thing with the EMP and the shock ram. Not so much the roadblock, because basically the helicopter does the roadblock's job more effectively in my opinion, and for a lot longer. The only problem with it is I only get 2 helicopters, but it does last quite a while. So I only get 2 helicopters to spawn in. So, but with the car that I have right here, the Koenigsegg Agera R, the Enforcer car variant, it shouldn't be too hard to get to another repair shop and just get my Pursuit Tech refilled. So, you know, helicopters are always nice. So I'll show you guys what those are like in game. So those are always nice. And I'm gonna pair it up with an ESF just because this car is a little squishy. It's not terrible, but it doesn't hit super hard. Like it doesn't hit as hard as this car right here. Not nearly as hard, but it does still hit hard, and especially adding on that ESF, the electrostatic field. Where is it? Right here. The electrostatic field, it does work, so I like it on just about any car, really. And let's see if we can get some racers, some online players right here. So we'll go to this guy, and this should be pretty easy to get him down, especially if we have a helicopter that drops like 3 or 4. I think it's 4 within a matter of 5 seconds. They'll drop like 4 spike strips, and it's actually really, really good. We gotta get this guy. Oh, I think he's doing the Grand Tour.
Control, I spotted a street race on Driftwood Heights requesting support of additional
no, he
units
can't
to
be doing the
intercept.
Grand Tour because he has to go back there a lot longer.
Street race activity spotted on Driftwood Heights requesting support from units available in the vicinity. Control, I spotted a street race on Driftwood Heights requesting support of additional units to intercept. Dispatch, I've got another suspect in view pursuing multiple targets now.
Oh boy, this car is so good too. This is like my top tier favorite car, favorite tier 4 car, aside from the Lamborghini Aventador on the top side. This is my favorite top car by far to do with anything.
Roadblock request denied. We don't have the resources.
Dispatch, racer no longer in my perimeter. Stand
But
down.
we're trying to get this car,
Roger that.
this
Stand
guy,
down and sweep the area.
passing car. So we're trying to get this guy for sure. I know I can catch up to him quite easily.
All units, we have a unit in pursuit of a suspected
Yep.
44. All nearby officers, please assist.
He's going down there.
Dispatch, I'm in pursuit. Pursuit looks like it'll escalate. Yeah, you gotta stop it.
Copy that. Duty has authorized
Probably
code 3 at
not.
this time.
Just took a chunk out. He's still mobile. I'm still following.
Oh, we got him? What? No way. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take it. We got him. He was only a McLaren P1. I guess that is kind of one of the skinnier cars that I don't like playing because I have a better car. Yeah, because if I'm not using this car on undercover or enforcer, I'm usually, for the cop side, I'm using the Aventador, the Lamborghini Aventador. And then for the racer side, usually I'm using it on a try-hard race level. Usually I'll be using either the Koenigsegg 1.1 or the Ferrari F12 Berlin. So those are the two cars that I use in racing. I'll get some racing gameplay. Yeah, so let's go back into the command post. Again, we're not racers. We try. So hopefully, yeah. So hopefully, my goodness, wow, I didn't. So, yeah, let's get him again. I guess. Oh no, I'm not gonna be a dickhead. That would just be really, really mean and sufferable right there. So, I could go at him again, but I'm gonna switch my pursuit tech because you guys saw the helicopter in action. So I'm gonna switch to EMP. That's my main setup right there, right there. ESF EMP. I got a ranged attack and I got a attack that basically defends me from. It basically what it does is it charges your car's body with a powerful static field that protects it from against stun mines, EMP locks, and deals a powerful shock to anyone that touches you. So basically it ups my damage, but it also protects me from stun mines and EMP lock-ons. So that's always helpful. And the EMP is just for added damage. You could go with Shock Ram instead, or you could pair the EMP with Shock Ram too to get 2 ranged bonuses, but I think this is the most damage dealing setup right here. This is definitely the best. Welcome to the stream. This is definitely the best. I think, in my opinion, the best. What do you call it? I guess you could say pursuit tech options if you want to do as much damage as humanly possible. So that would be my recommendation for anyone, just because you can't go wrong with most of it. The only problem I'm having with EMP is sometimes it'll just fade out, like it'll do a misfire. So basically what that is it basically it'll say that you locked on, and then it'll say that it'll basically go all the way down and say that you targeted them. Well, it'll actually just disappear and it won't work. So yeah, that's the only really big problem I'm having with it. Otherwise, I really don't, I don't know, like, it just, yeah, it's a good setup. I like it. Let me know who's all here when you get in the chat too, so just so I know, just say hey or whatever, So, let's get some more. Oh, he's way down here now. Okay, we're gonna get him again because I don't usually typically use a helicopter, but if I'm playing a really hard interceptor or not really an interceptor, but hot pursuit, or I guess you could use it on interceptors too, but I just don't prefer it on interceptors. The only really big event that I usually use helicopters on
All units be advised, pursuit in progress of a 1041. Officer requesting backup.
So,
got evidence
if that
of
makes
possible
any sense.
1044 nearby. Going in for
Because
a
there's
closer
like
look.
5 or 6 cars that you could get it with.
1151, damage, but in
Or
pursuit.
no, not,
Code 3.
there's like 5 cars that you have to crash.
Dispatcher, there, perimeter in place. This code 3 suspect is out running us.
Copy that. We'll put out a call for units to
The
support.
helicopter helps get all of them slowed down while still taking damage from the spectator. That way it's a lot easier just to, and they last quite a long time after you get it to them. It's tier 3. Shouldn't take too long. And it's not very pricey either. I mean, it only takes about, I want to say 100, 200,000 just to get up to tier 4. But that's if you have a tier 4 car. Because if you get a tier 4 car, that means you have tier 4 pursuit. So it just, you know, most people, I'm just explaining this because that's just me trying to help you guys out. And some people don't, like, I'm surprised most of my friends don't even have this game. I was like, bro, this is basically 2 classic games put together. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Most Wanted, in my opinion, are basically what this game is. That's what Rivals is, basically. You can be both a cop and a racer, like you could in Hot Pursuit. You have the open world event, or like features that you had in Most Wanted. It's just basically both of them combined, with a slight difference. Because they did tweak a couple things from the both of those games. Yeah. I'm doing terrible. I'm driving. That's impossible. It's okay. It's all good. Let me go get this guy. This guy's about ready to go. Oh wow! I can't believe I actually did that. That's my fault, guys. I did terrible trying to drive out of that. Ooh. Oh fuck! Why did you pull out in front of me, Civiv? I was calling Civ because they're civilian, but I could just say civilian.
Dispatch, I gotta confirm street race in progress here.
That's what I don't like about Spike Trip, because you take so much damage. But then also you get slowed down quite a bit because your max speed gets cut in half basically. So I can only go like 140 something if I'm Spike Trip. He went in the. Oh my goodness. He went in the hideout. He's just a pussy. Dummy. That's trying to take me out. Okay, so I will make this one tip for you guys. If you guys don't want to get busted by cops and you want to get tier 4 cars first, or tier 3 or tier 4 whatever, and you want to get those first, I would honestly just wait it out, play it until it actually carries over to online play too. So, because that's what I did. I just basically, I was like, nope, I'm not going to get destroyed until I have basically the same level of cars that everybody else has. So I went into single player and did the whole campaign and stuff, did a couple levels by myself in my own lobby, and it worked. That's basically what I did. I don't think that's what most people would do, but they want to play online, so my best advice to you is get the good cars first, and then go online. Like, get tier 3 cars with tier 3 pursuit tech or higher. So you could wait, you know, to get what is it called? For example, if you're a racer, you might want to wait till you're, you might want to wait till, let me look. Because if you're a racer, I would wait till you're about, to the, I think it's called the Porsche 911 GT3. I'm not too positive, but I'll show you guys when I get into the racer career here. But since we're on a cop, I'll show you guys what the cop ones I recommend. So, once you unlock the Agera R, I would definitely go for either Enforcer or Undercover. Don't worry about the patrol cars yet, because they're not specializing in really anything but chasing. That's it. They don't do a whole lot of damage or nothing like that. Nothing too special. They're just supposed to keep the pursuit going. So if you have a buddy that's, if you team up and let them know where you're at and shit. So this is a good car to just do a buddy system with. But then the other buddy has to be either the enforcer or the undercover. So that way this guy can basically do a radar reconnaissance type thing. So these guys, this is for car-to-car combat. And the undercover cops basically, they let you get a free hit basically because you're undercover. Most people don't recognize you as a cop. And the radar doesn't show up until you actually hit them or start the pursuit by turning on your lights. That's why I like the undercover cops. Here's my undercover Agera R. Looks pretty sick, doesn't it? It just, the difference between this one and this one is literally you're undercover. Whereas, like, what that means is look at this car. You see how there's the light bars at the top of the car on the roof? That is the main key difference why undercover cops are so much better, because they don't have those light bars. So everybody's gonna at first think you're a racer until they start hitting you and start, feeling that, if you're behind them and you start the pursuit early, you basically have let them know what you are. So, basically, I would come up behind them and get a free hit, basically. And then you have basically all the time in the world just to take them down and whatnot. So, yeah. So, the other Tier 4 car that I would recommend early on is the Lamborghini. The earlier Tier 4 car is the Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4. The Enforcer car is what I would get first, and then go for the undercover. Just because most of this game requires car-to-car combat, right? You don't need that first hit usually, when you could just do a ton of damage and start the pursuit anyway. So, I mean, that's my opinion on it. You could go for either or. I prefer the Enforcer cars over the undercover ones because they do so much more damage. Like I said, they're mainly used for car-to-car combat. The other car I would recommend is probably the, I think it's the McLaren here. I'm not too sure. Let me check. Because it's a Tier 3 car. Yeah. I would think you could get away with this, but I prefer, where is it? Where is it? Well, it's not the Lexus. I'm just trying to look where it is. Because a lot of these cars are Tier 2. Let me see if this is a Tier 2 car, because I'm pretty sure it is. Yep, Tier 2. I'm pretty sure this one's the start of the, let me check, BMW M6 Coupe. I'm pretty sure this one is Tier 1, yep. What's this one, Tier 3? No, Tier 2. I'm trying to find it, because it is a pretty good car to start out with as a Tier 3, but, because I would start out with Tier 3 before you even start out with Tier, because if you go from Tier 1 to Tier 3, and then start getting those Tier 4 cars early on, or, pretty late in the game, it's going to work out so much better for you, in my opinion. Like, there's just no way. So, I think it's the Ferrari 458. I'm not sure. Just give me one moment. Yeah. Basically, the undercover, after you got the mission that lets you be an undercover Ferrari Enzo from a super undercover Ferrari Enzo from the racer side, this mission right here, once you do that, on not the patrol side, you want to do the undercover or the enforcer first. I'd recommend the enforcer first, and then undercover, then the patrol. But here's the thing. When you get this car and you defeat it on either, you know, this one or this one first,
we will have our revenge.
and then because literally, look at those stats. It's basically a, you know, it's basically a tier 3 car, but it's not really, it's slightly better than what most people would think. So once you defeat that part of the campaign for your first time, like I said, like all my career has been enforcer. Look at that. All of them, those lines, the little connections, are the ones that I did on my first campaign part. So if you know, that's, like I said, I'm all about enforcer cars, but I do like doing undercover too. So I do think they have a lot of good advantages, but I think the enforcers outweigh they have a lot more benefits than the what do you call it, the undercover cars. So I would honestly, like, I'll show you some gameplay after my racer career, but basically I would go for the Ferrari Italia, the Ferrari 458 Italia, or you could say 458, whatever. I just say the numbers out individually because it's usually how you say a car's name like that. So get the Ferrari 458 Italia first. I wouldn't even get another tier 1 car, because this car is decent as it is, right? I wouldn't buy any other tier 1 car, to be very honest with you, because this car is literally the best starter car you can get right here. So you could get away with using the patrol car just to keep up with people, but I always went with the enforcer. Like I said, I was always an enforcer. So just because you can hit people so much harder, and being that you don't have all that speed, because they say speed kills, right? It says that in the game, right? The more speed you have, the more your strength and durability doesn't matter, okay? But if you don't have enough top speed or acceleration to get your hits in as hard as possible, you want to go for strength and durability. So that's what I did. I went with this car. And to be very honest, I would start out with electrostatic field and EMP, or instead of EMP, go with shock ram, because that one's a little easier to use than EMP. So and then once you get up to tier 3, go with the Ferrari 458 Italia, because at that point you're not even like, you're there's let's 2, 3, 4. Wait. This is level 1. This is for the Aston Martin Vanquish. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you should be level 10, like halfway through the career, and then you should be able to, after you get those bus 10 racers, which I'll probably end up doing here after I come back to the cop side, you should be able to get the Ferrari 458 Italia. I would highly recommend getting the enforcer, because its durability's iffy on undercover side, but I mean, like I said, you could go with either one because they both have a lot of good advantages. I just prefer the enforcer, like I said, because I think there's more benefits with doing that. So let me just as a precaution, I'm going to for when I come back over here, I'm going to do that. then we're gonna go over to the racer side. Basically, I'm just gonna give tips in this video, cause oh, by the way, I was playing with my friend and I was being we were doing Mustang Wars, so that's okay. We're gonna be the Koenigsegg. Actually, you know what? No, I have a lot of rank on this side of the careers, on the racer career. So all I need to do is this. But basically, what you do, right, is on the racer side, I would basically, what you want to do is actually, you could start out with either or, but I prefer the Ford Mustang GT 2015. The 2015 Ford Mustang GT is how it should be named. I prefer that one over the Porsche, just because it's basically a tier 2 car. It's got more top speed and acceleration, and more it's better at cornering and drifting than most other tier 2 cars, and it can even rival some of the tier 3 cars, and it's basically in tier 1. The only really big downside of this car is literally you only get tier 1 pursuit tech, because it's so powerful as an early on car. So usually I just go with turbo and jammer, or instead of jammer you could go with shockwave, or vice versa with the turbo, because you're a lot safer with jammer and shockwave, but I like to go that extra little bit of speed. So I always use turbo and jammer, and I do get pretty high in the heat levels, so it's not like, you know, it's not like I'm gonna be you know, find a hideout anytime soon. I'm gonna keep racking up those speed points, right? So turbo just allows me to do that more effectively and keep out of the surroundings of the cops, as I'm in a tier 8 through 10 chase. And then yeah, so basically what I do is and then if they have helicopters, which more than likely they do, or roadblocks, because the lower tier cars, they have spike strips and stuff like this, and you know, just all kinds of random stuff. For usually they'll carry like a not electrostatic field. It's usually roadblocks, helicopters, and spike strips is what the earlier cars have. But if you get to heat level 8 through 10, oh boy, you're in for a rude awakening. So yeah, start out with this car, because it's basically a tier 3 car. Tier 2 or tier 3, whatever you consider it as. It's basically one of those two. It's that good. It's the only thing that holds it back is the pursuit tech, really. So, and then when you leapfrog to another car, like I said about the cop side, you want to go from this starting car, because you get it from the tutorial. You basically get a free car from the tutorial. It's bogus, but you want to jump over to this car right here, the Porsche 911 GT3. Reason being is because when you jump to this car is basically, it's basically the 2015 Ford Mustang with more cornering and a lot better well, it's not better durability. I mean, you could stick with this Ford Mustang until you're pretty much done with the, you know, until you get the next car I'm about to recommend. But I just totally don't think you should leapfrog from all the Porsches, because literally you have the last Porsche, and then you got your tier 4 cars. Like, there's no reason to, you know, spend money on that car when you could wait one more rank and get the fastest tank in the game, really. So I think it's a safer way to do it if you went from the 2015 Ford Mustang GT all the way to the Porsche 911 GT3, and then all the way to either the F12 Berlinetta. I don't recommend this one because, yes, it is the fastest tank in the game. You can do a lot of damage with it. But in all actuality, it's debatable whether you want this one or this one. The Ferrari Enzo or the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. So, it's totally up to you guys. But I always went with the Enzo because this one had better top speed. It could go up to like 248, I think. It's or not 248, 242. And it was always, because this one went 250, so you had to make the balance somewhere. And I always went with the Ferrari Enzo because once you get that last rank right here, I think this is rank 19 or something. Let me check. Rank 19 or 20. Yeah, it's rank 19 that you unlock the Pagani, but once you reach rank 12, that's when you unlock the P1. So, you start unlocking the P1 after that point. So, you know, it's not bad. I mean, the Pagani, you know, if you already have the Ferrari Enzo and you can make it through this one just ensures that you can make it through the Grand Tour event really, really freaking easy. So, it's ridiculous how easy it is to do it with this car versus this car, because this car you can't even get first, and you get more money for higher rankings of whatever you're doing in the event, right? This car cannot ever get you more than second place at most. I've tried it. It's really hard to do it. Try and get first place with it. I would not recommend it with this car. I always recommend it with this car because if you look at the stats, 7.483, 7.4 strength, and 8.3 durability. Now look at it. There's hardly any difference really. 7.3, I think, or 7.4, 7.4, and 8.3. Not a huge difference. So, you know, it's not a big difference, but it's fine. Just go with the Enzo. It'll help you get throughout the rest of your career and unlock this car and this car. Because if you didn't know, there's a free car that you can get that is the best racer car in the game. That's this car right here. This is my baby, Koenigsegg 1.1. I always recommend this car because it's the free car and it's literally the best car you can get in the whole entire game. Not even joking. So, I'm always putting on this one because that one looks the cleanest, I think, and it suits my channel. So, but besides the point, you want to leapfrog from, in this career, the 2015 Ford Mustang GT all the way to the Porsche 911 GT3, all the way, in my opinion, the Ferrari Enzo, and that should carry you out to the P1 and the Koenigsegg 1.1 after you finish Grand Tour. So, the Grand Tour Hot Pursuit. And that'll take about 10 minutes to do. It's not terribly long, but for a Hot Pursuit, that's really, really long. So, I would recommend getting turbo and jammer on your Ferrari Enzo just because you won't be surrounded and any spike strips or roadblocks that are thrown your way. If you can't evade them, use the jammer. It'll help out a lot. So, but yeah, I'm going to show some gameplay of me doing the
hammer down.
I'm trying to do the, where is it? I gotta go to Wolf's Clothing. No, Devil for Devils. No, it isn't. It's this one. Alright. We're gonna try and wreck cops, is basically what we're trying to do here. So we're gonna go do a event that I usually like doing. We're gonna do this hard event. There's 3 events that I recommend you do that you can do pretty much throughout the entire entirety of your career in the racer side. This is one of my favorite methods to make money, but I do it with this event just because I'm max level, and you only unlock the hard events after you've reached level 18 or 17 or something like that. So, yep, and then, yep, so...
All nearby units move in and support.
Target is plowing through everything. Code 3 suspect is attempting to wreck pursuit. Over.
Huh? That's bullshit.
Dispatch, we need backup. This guy's getting away from us.
All units en route, be advised, visual on suspect has been lost. Continue code 3 at this time. Await updates. Over.
I just ran over spikes. I'm riding on ramp.
Pursuing officer involved in TC. Rescue ambulance is code 3 and en route.
If you have too many cops on you, you just need to register time. Not very much.
Vehicle damage pursuit in progress. All nearby units converge on the location and support pursuing officer.
I just ran over spikes. I'm riding on ramp. I lost visual.
10-4, stay on the suspect. Will advise. Over.
I have visual on the suspect. Code 3.
Suspect hit me.
I'm trying to bust these cops, so we can do this one more time
I'm going in to arrest the target.
to get my
Suspect got
other
clear. He's
part of it.
mobile.
I just took damage from code 3 suspect.
All units, an officer has called 1123, withdrawing from pursuit.
Target.
Requesting 1037 to support pursuit.
Be advised, Air 1 is en route to your position.
Target's trying to slow me down.
Vehicle damage critical.
I've shut this racer down. Standing down
Dang
for
it.
pursuit. Code 3.
I wrecked
Target
so
vehicle
bad there. I failed. Oh boy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video the stream. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the underworld.